Hey y'all, Alyse here from Just Things with Alyse. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you. But let's get right into the video so it won't take too long. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this wreath. Ooh, oh, beautimus. Disregard that flower that wants to go rogue. But it was under $10 to make, and it only took I think about 30 minutes to make the whole thing, if that long. But it was really fun, really simple, really pretty. So if you're interested in making that, definitely keep watching. I already started making it when I was like, they probably want to know how to make this too. So it's already going to be halfway done, and then we're going to finish the rest together. But before we get into that, let me show you what you're going to need to make it. Pumpkin wire form, a pack of their metal signs, 3 13-foot ropes, 1 wired jute cord, flowers of your choice, super glue or E6000 glue, and scissors. Alright, so I'm about halfway done already, as you can see. And you'll see why that little space is missing once we start making this. But I have some extra rope to go back and cover that up. And then what I've been doing, since as you saw I did not have any super glue left, I used that twine to close off any of the parts where the rope ends. That's what I have so far, and we can go ahead and do the last piece together so that you can see how to make this wreath if you would like. So for that part, it's gonna take one more rope. So basically it took one rope to make these 3 parts, and then a part of one rope to make this middle part, and then it'll take another full rope to make this. So after making the middle part, you will have some rope left over. You just cut that, and that's what I'm going to use to fill in this space and whatever space is left on this side. So let's get started. And the way that I went about starting it off, I take the rope and bring it to this little part right here and lay the rope down flat like this. And I also first find out what pattern the rope is in. So every other part of this has it going this way, twisting to the right. So I want to keep it all in unison. And so I lay this down flat, and in order to keep the rope going the right direction, we have to twist it left over right. And this part is a little bit annoying, a little tedious, but you have to keep bringing the rope through here, dropping it over, bringing the rope through, dropping it over. And it's a good little workout if you're not in shape like me. So I have it where I want it, laying flat. I bring the rope through and around, and you probably don't need this much rope to start off with, just about like 1 inch, just so that it can lock it in basically. But if you're using like E6000 glue, or maybe even hot glue from Hot Glue Gun, you might be able to just skip this step and just glue it to start. But I don't have any of that on hand, so I'm doing it this way. And the cheating way that I was doing, oops, sorry, let me get back in the middle. But a cheating thing that I was doing was, instead of just keep pulling it through and doing all of that, I would just wrap it around as many times as I could, just like this, without actually pulling the rope through. And then afterwards I would pull it back through the actual wire frame. But be careful doing that, because eventually the rope is going to start doing like this, twisting around the frame, and you're going to have to pull it through even more, basically, to untwist that before you go any further. So I'm gonna go ahead and untwist what I did. Well, the extra where it's getting wound up. And so I have that whole part covered up from the rope, and now it's gonna get a lot smaller after we start twisting on the actual frame, but it'll end up blending all in at the end. And I'm still gonna cheat because I'm glutton for punishment. I don't learn my lesson. And so if you can see me, I'll go slower of just taking it, twisting it around, pulling it back through, and pulling as tight as I can, so that once I am done and it loosens up a little bit, it won't be so loose that it actually unravels. It'll just be comfortably loose, basically. And just pulling the rope through. Sorry, I keep going out of frame on this. It's my first time trying to record this kind of video where I'm showing y'all like this. So it's a bit of a struggle to stay in frame where y'all can see, but twist it around, and you just keep doing that all the way up. So I'm gonna speed through this part, and then I'll get back to you when we get up here to the top. Okay, and now that we're at the top of the next section, you have to see what direction your rope has to go again. So again, for it to keep going this way, I have to wrap it like this over the next section. And to keep this gap from being right here, I'm gonna take it through, well, it's still gonna be there, but not as bad. I'm gonna take it through this way, I have to remember. And then just start all over again, wrapping it around. This is not a quick craft. It is easy. It just takes time and a little bit of concentration to do. So as long as you have the patience to wrap this rope all the way around, you will be just fine making this wreath. This is the only part that takes a bit of time to do. And to be honest, I only took maybe 10 minutes to do the first half. And so I'm gonna estimate that it'll take 10 minutes to do this second half. And then however long it takes to get the welcome part put on the front. Just gonna connect that with the twine too. I'll show you how once we get to that part. But first, let's just get through this. Just pulling it through, bringing it around. Still cheating a little bit, but not a lot, because I don't want to have to pull it all through again. I'll do maybe about 4, where I just keep twisting it around without pulling the rope through, and then get caught up with the rope side. Oops, sorry about that. You pretty much got this part down by now. You should. You just twisting it around. The only tough part is starting it and finishing it. And it's not really that tough. You just have to make sure that it's tight enough so that it doesn't come undone. So again, I'm gonna finish this part out, and then I'll meet you back at the beginning down here so that we'll see what to do from there. All right, so now that we're to the end of this section, what we're gonna do is basically the same thing. We're gonna wrap this part around. try to get as close as we can to where the other part started to cover it up a little bit. And then just start wrapping the rope around this section. On the other side, I went around this way, but it was because the rope was going in a different direction. But since it's going this way on this side, it's not covering up as well, but it's gonna be turned like this. So you're not really gonna be looking at that all that much. And so now you just keep doing the same old same, wrapping it around. And since this is a little short part, it's not gonna take that long to finish it. So I won't fast forward through this one. And then I will speed back through the next part since we already know what to do on just a regular old straightway. And when I get to the end of this rope, which should be at the end of this next straightway, I'll show y'all how to end that off. So I will be back momentarily once again. Okay, so now I finished off the other straightway and the little short part in between, and I just wrapped this last piece of rope from the short part around and behind like this. And so now we're gonna get that twine if you're gonna use that. If not, you can just super glue it or glue it some other kind of way, fasten it some other kind of way. But since I have the twine on hand, I bought both of these for another DIY for some placemats. But I hadn't made it yet, and it's time for fall, which means it's time for a fall wreath. And since I saw these on Lacey's Space on her channel, ever since I saw these wire forms, I have been itching to make something out of them. So we're gonna use this rope and twine for this instead. But anyway, the way that you close it up with the twine, you take it and it has wire on the inside and you just wrap it around. So I just brought it to the back and you can see it sticking out the bottom right there. And remember that it's gonna be visible from this way. So try to do it in a way where it still looks pleasing from that angle. But what I did, I just brought it around to the front like this. And it's a lot easier to bring this through since it's so much shorter. And after I bring it around the front one time regularly, I just cross it across, and what we're doing is just wrapping up this rope back here to make sure it stays. And so for this one, I probably could just keep wrapping it straight right here, but to go with the other ones that I already did, I'm going to do it the same way because their rope stopped right across this line in the back instead. And so after I bring it around, I'm basically just making an X. So I bring it from the bottom left up to the top right, and I did it 3 times on the other ones. I think 2 is okay over here though, but I'm gonna do 3 anyway. So I did 3. Then you make the straight again, just top to bottom, straight up and down. And that's how you start going the other direction. So now it's top left, bottom right. And remember again to check, to check this angle to make sure it still looks okay. That looks all right. So I do that 2 times, well 3 times on this side, just for unison. uniformity. And then when you're ready to finish it off, you just bring it to the back and you pull it as tight as you can, and then just cut the wire where it'll end in the back, and you just press it down. And you could either tuck it underneath one of these other ones or just press it down. It won't really go anywhere, and it will loosen up, but not enough for anything to get out of place. And so you can use the little wire cutter plier things, which I have, but they're in my storage bin in the closet under some stuff, and I didn't feel like pulling it out. So we're just gonna use some regular scissors because this is so thin, it'll still just cut regularly like that. Save this part for later. And I'm just gonna push it down. And so now that part is secured. Looks a little weird, but the other side has a knot too, so they go together still. And now for this extra piece that's left, I'm gonna cut it off and use it to just fill in this bottom piece. I decided I'm just gonna keep these two blank. Don't ask why, because I really don't know, but I'm gonna leave those two blank and just fill in this bottom one to match this side. And then I'm just gonna use the same technique that I used to start this rope off. So I'm gonna put the rope, I can show you with this. So I'm gonna place the rope, then wrap this rope around like usual until we're done. Then I'm gonna close that off with the twine too, like I did on this side. So I'm gonna do that off camera as well, and then we'll be back together to put the welcome sign on. Alrighty, so now we have all of the wireframe wrapped with the rope, except for the two pieces at the top that I just pretty much was too lazy to cover up. I believe that's why I decided not to do it. And now we're just gonna put the welcome sign on, and like I said, we're gonna be attaching that with the twine. So I'll show you how I'm planning on doing it. I haven't done this before, so hopefully it works. And I plan on having it just right across the middle like this. And so we're gonna get it even and then tie it on. And I want it to be like right in the middle. So that looks good enough to me as far as the middle goes. And so I'm basically just gonna try to connect it right here on the L, just wrap it around there, and then right there on the M. So for that, we're not gonna need too much twine. So we're gonna take this, get it right where we want in the middle, or close enough to the middle. Bring it around through the back, just right around the L. Nothing special or fancy about it. And again, if you have E6000 glue or super glue or even a hot glue gun, that would definitely work right here. All right, and so I have it wrapped around the front and the back, good enough. And I'm just gonna cut this little piece of twine and then do the same thing on the M. All right, so now I have the welcome sign attached. I'm not 100% happy with how the twine looks on there, but it'll work for right now until I get some more glue or something to attach it better without having these big hunks of rope going across them basically. And I decided that I am going to use some flowers, and I'm probably going to place one in each of these spots just to cover that up. I have these sunflowers and some extra flowers from the wreath I did last year, but I don't think I want to use the extra flowers. I just want to stick to the sunflowers. There's 6 of them on each bouquet or bush, and I'm just gonna put them around sporadically, changing the colors up. Since I have the yellow and the orange with the red in the middle, I'm just gonna switch up the colors here and there, and I'll show y'all what I come up with. Okay, I'm back, and we are down to the very last flower, maybe. What do y'all think? Should I put some on this side too that's gonna be touching the door? I don't know, but we just have one last one to put right here, and I ended up trying to put them in places like around the edge to cover up the ugly. And so I'm covering up all of those parts where the new one started or the old one ended or anything like that, where I had twine, just so again it could cover up the ugly. And then on some of them I placed the leaves on the flower head, and I'll show you how I did that. So first I cut all of the actual stems off of the bush, and then you just pull the leaves off pretty easy. You pull the flower head off. Then you take this little brown part in the back and you pull that off too. And so you have this left and this left on your leaf, and you just pull this out. Usually it'll just pull all the way out, otherwise you'll have to pull it open and then separate it. Hopefully it'll just pull right out for you. And so you just take the leaves, put it directly on the back of the flower, and you can adjust how you want it to look after you close it back up. Put this back. I would find the one in cooperative flower head to give the example with. So after you push that back, you turn it back this way, and then you just move it around to however you want the leaves to look related to the flower, like so. But I'm not doing that for this one, so let me take that back off. So I just put leaves on these 2 flowers down here and not anything up there, and these 2. I need to tighten this one because it keeps swinging around like that. Alrighty, so I have my flower back assembled, and I'm going to show you how I put it on. It's pretty easy. You can see from that loose one, I just find where I want it, and since I want it to cover this part, I'm going to put the flower on this side so that it'll be right in front of it. And then, easy as all get out, you take the stem and just wrap it around. And I will say for these sunflowers, the yellow ones are a lot easier to wrap around than the orange ones are. The orange ones take a little bit of muscle power, but the yellow ones go around pretty easy, as you can see. The only hiccup I had was trying to move the flower petals out of the way for this. But you just do that and you press it, and then just position the flower however you want on the front side. And that's that. And so again, I have to tighten this one back up so it'll stop flipping around, but this is basically the finished product, and I'll show you how it looks on my front door too. But again, let me know if you think that I should put some on these outer sides as well, or if it's enough just how it is. But that's all. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a huge thumbs up. And if you are new here, definitely consider subscribing. I would love to have you. But other than that, I will see y'all on the next video. Bye, y'all.